Okay, so picture this. You're in bed, the lights are low, things are heating up, and instead of thinking, wow, this feels amazing, your brain goes straight to your stomach rolls, asking yourself if your butt's doing that flat pancake thing, if you should arch, if you should flex, if you should suck it in. Meanwhile, your partner's there just thankful that you showed up naked in the first place. And while it's funny when we say it out loud, this is something that researchers actually look into: body image and sex. And the results are kind of wild. Hello everybody, my name is Ali. Welcome to my channel, and I'm a sex education student. And in this video, we're gonna be talking about how body image affects your pleasure. So I'm gonna be sharing with you some research that I read and also 5 micro skills that you can start tonight that is going to shift your focus back to sensation, pleasure, and connection, so you can concentrate more on what feels good as opposed to worrying what looks good. And trust me here, the science is actually going to make you rethink what is holding people back in the bedroom. And later on, I'm also going to be sharing with you a new spicy pleasure toy from LELO that was designed for this exact purpose: to bring back sensation and pleasure into your body and into the bedroom. Now, before we get into everything, I just wanted to share with you a little personal story of my experience with body image and sex. Let me know if you can relate to this, drop it in the comments below. But I would say that throughout my teens, my 20s, and probably my early 30s, my focus was definitely more on looking good as opposed to feeling good. So always worried about if I looked hot, if my stomach was okay, sucking it in, different angles, not doing certain positions because I didn't want to be exposed in certain ways, not wanting to have sex with the lights on. And I was still pretty open. I think I did a pretty good job at, concealing certain parts of myself, but especially when it came to lingerie, didn't really feel confident in it. So I really think that I was robbed of a lot of pleasure growing up. But now that I'm a bit older, I'm 38 now, I'm a lot more comfortable in my body, and I think I've definitely made that shift from worrying about looking good and that performative aspect versus focusing on what's feeling good. And as soon as I'm gonna dive into this research, I pretty much fall in those statistics. So let's get into it, shall we? So a study done in 2011 in the Journal of Sex Research looked at over 300 undergraduate students, and here's what they found. Women who felt self-conscious about their bodies were way more likely to avoid sex. And when they did have it, they hid their bodies by dimming lights, covering up, or keeping their clothes on. Another study done found that women with lower body image had a 31% drop in desire, so that is the mental want of having sex, and a 37% drop in arousal when negative thoughts about their body popped up mid-sex. So arousal being the physical response of sexual stimulation. So we're talking about things like wetness or blood flow, things like that. Now, men weren't off the hook either, okay? Their issues came more with performance anxiety. So things like, what if I can't get hard? What if I don't last? What if I don't measure up? So basically, women avoid intimacy when they're self-conscious about the way they look, and men avoid intimacy when they are self-conscious about the way that they will perform. Also, both men and women think about appearance during sex, but women were more likely to act on it. So this is by hours of prep, extra grooming, or strategic hiding. So that constant focus of looking sexy can take away from women actually feeling sexy. This is why I'm gonna give you a quick tip here for the men. I mean, I'll be honest, it's also equally as important for women to reciprocate this, but it is really important to make your partner feel sexy. Tell them they're beautiful, tell them they're hot, tell them you want to devour them and their body looks incredible. I know there's a whole thing about, feeling confident and not needing external validation, but honestly, sometimes external validation kind of helps. It is really nice to hear from your partner that you're effing sexy and your body's beautiful and all that kind of stuff. It definitely works for me anyways, makes me feel hotter and more wanting to get intimate and all that stuff. So anyways, just a quick tip there. So researchers call this kind of thing spectatoring. So instead of being in your body, you're actually watching yourself from the outside and judging the shit out of yourself. And spectatoring is not helpful at all. People who do it more often tend to have lower sexual self-esteem, higher self-consciousness, and just way less satisfaction overall. So yeah, it's not just a silly worry, it's literally robbing you of your pleasure. So now that we've uncovered the research, I have a question for you. What if we flip the script? What if instead of caring about so much how we look, we cared more about how we feel? Imagine a world where instead of sucking in your stomach, you're focused on the feeling of your partner's touch on your skin. Where instead of noticing your thighs, you're focused on your breath quickening, your body warm, or your skin tingling. The research makes it clear, okay, the people that focus a lot more on sensation report way higher levels of sexual satisfaction. Isn't that what we all want? That sounds like a better trade-off to me. So now, what are you gonna do about that? Tonight, literally tonight, I'm gonna share with you some micro skills that can help you shift your focus back to sensation and pleasure. Think of them like little anchors that are going to pull you out of your head and back into your body. So we're gonna start with micro skill number 1, which is probably the most important one, and that is solo rehearsal. Now, self-pleasure is your most important tool, and research confirms it, that exploring your own body helps you reconnect with what feels good as opposed to what looks good. And when you learn what lights you up, bringing that confidence and that sensual awareness into the bedroom with your partner is mind-blowing. Now, how do you get there? See, companies like LELO exist to help you with that. Okay, if you don't know LELO, I got them right here, LELO. They are a wonderful, luxurious sexual wellness company whose main goal is to create incredible products like the Switch here that I'm gonna tell you about in a second to help you reconnect with your body and feel that pleasure. I'd say let's leave the looking good up to LELO, all right, because their products are super cute, always looking fly, and the feeling good up to us, all right? Now, for anyone who struggles with body image, using toys is a total game changer, because instead of worrying about, ugh, do I look good right now? You're thinking about, whoa, I did not know that I could feel this way. Now, I'm also gonna tell you about, just in a minute from now, okay, a way that you can actually use this product with your partner, and you wouldn't even have to worry about body image at all because you won't actually physically be together. All right, so the LELO Switch is actually a perfect toy if you are a beginner at this because it is a dual stimulator, all right? It has the best of both worlds. So if you're looking for external stimulation on the clitoris, you got the vibrating wand head, which personally for me is my favorite because I am a wand girl at heart, okay? But what made this one extra special was the ribs. So the ribs actually target more nerve endings, resulting in more stimulation, which I can confirm works very well. Check out those ribs. Oh yeah. And then if you want to feel a little bit more fuller, you have this portion right here, which is insertable for internal stimulation. Each one has their own motor, so don't worry when you turn it on, it's not like vibrating from both ends. You can actually control which one you want to use. And each one has 5 different modes. So you got 5 modes on the head, 5 modes on the insertable tip, and each of those modes has 10 intensity levels. So you got a lot to play with in terms of figuring out what sensation you like. So just to show you quickly, when you turn on your Switch with the on button, the lights are going to flash like this, and then you press the plus and it starts the intensity. Oh yeah, look at that. And if you want the other motor to start, then you press the on button again and it switches. So every time you press the on button, it switches to each motor, all right? And just like with LELO's toys, a lot of them are built into the app, so you can connect your LELO Switch and play, all right? And like most LELO toys, you can control the intensity and the mode by using your phone. All right, so we press start and yeah, there we go. Woo, woo. Can you hear it? Oh yeah. So you can control that mode and intensity. I prefer a steady mode, but we have 10 different ones here. Relaxed, daring, stimulated, thrilled, delighted. So many different ones. Ooh, that is very hard. What is that? That's already at 4. Oh, mon Dieu. That's a lot. But I'd say one of my favorite features about this product and a lot of LELO's products actually is the Love Bridge feature, which ties in perfectly for this video because when we're talking about body image and worrying about how you look as opposed to how you feel, feel, this can be a great exercise for you and your partner to start focusing on what's important, okay? So if you go to the Love Bridge icon in the app, you can see that it says create a room. And when you press create room, you get an invitation code that you can then send to your partner wherever they are in the world. So they can be in a different room with you if you want to try this little exercise in terms of really connecting to what feels good. That way you don't have to worry about your stomach rolls, even though stomach rolls are very sexy, or your flat pancake butt, like I sometimes call myself that I have. I have a very small bum that sometimes I get a little bit self-conscious about, but you know, if my partner's in another room and I am in one room and I have my LELO Switch that I am pleasuring myself with, but my partner is the one in this nasty, dirty, little discreet chat room that we are both in together, and they can control the intensity and the mode, and they could potentially hear me moaning from the other room. That's when other senses are heightened and you're really honing in on what pleasure feels like as opposed to what it looks like. So I would really recommend either the Switch or one of other LELO's toys that you can play with the Love Bridge with, because it can just be a really fun activity for you to do with a partner. And if you do, let me know how it goes. I would love to know. So if you're interested in checking out the LELO Switch, it's so light, OMG. You can definitely do so by clicking on the link below this video in the description. And don't forget to use my code Ali15. You will get 15% off your LELO purchase. All right, moving on to micro skill number 2, and that is get lights that you like. Not hide me lighting, but comfort lighting. You know, like candles, string lights, a nice lamp, something that makes the room really inviting as opposed to more clinical or like you're on display. Now, I'll be honest and say I was never a huge fan of lighting. I didn't really care much or think about lighting that much until I met my current partner, Gab, who needs everything to be warm. Warm lighting everywhere. No neons, no cold lighting. It needs to be warm. And I have really come to appreciate warm lighting, especially in a sexy setting. It really just sets the mood right, and allows you to see what you're doing, but also sets a really sexy vibe. And it's not like you're on display. It's really attractive on your skin. It makes you look good. All right, good lighting makes you look good. So you don't have to worry about body image that much, because when the lighting is good, you look good. And you can focus more on how you feel. All right, let's move on to micro skill number 3. I like to call this one sensation anchors. Now pick one body part to notice. This could be your breath, the warmth of your chest, a gentle squeeze of your pelvic floor, small signals like these that keep you connected. Micro skill number 4 is called the language swap. So instead of asking yourself, do I look okay? Try swapping it for what feels good right now. That tiny shift in wording directs attention from appearance to sensation. So if you're a guy and you keep looping on, do I look big enough, fit enough, man enough? Try shifting it to a question that your body can actually answer. What feels good right now? Maybe it's the pressure of her thighs. Maybe it's the way her breath is speeding up. Maybe it's the way the sheets feel under your knees. That swap alone can completely change the experience from judgment to curiosity. All right, and then we got the final micro skill, which I like to call interrupting the spectator. If you notice the judgment in your voice starting to creep in, name it. Oh, hey, spectator voice. Then come back to a physical cue. Your breath, the pressure of your hips, the texture of her skin. For example, if you're a guy and you catch yourself mid-sex thinking, am I hard enough? Am I lasting long enough? Did she notice I lost my rhythm? That's spectatoring, and you are standing outside of yourself, watching and judging instead of feeling what is actually going on. When that happens, literally name it, spectator voice. You can even give him a name or her a name or whatever, and then anchor back to a physical cue. The warmth of her skin under your hands, or the pressure of her hips against yours. It pulls you out of this self-critique loop and right back into sensation and what is feeling good. So here's the takeaway. Body image shapes our sex lives more than we realize. Women often hide or avoid intimacy when they're body self-conscious. Men stress about performance, and then everyone just misses out on the full experience of pleasure. But the science is clear. And shifting your focus from appearance to sensation changes everything. So next time you're in bed and your brain starts spiraling, pause and ask yourselves, what would happen if I cared more about how this feels than how it looks? And if you want support practicing sensation with or without a partner, use my code ALLY15 to get 15% off anything in the LELO store, including the LELO Switch, which again includes that wonderful love bridge option where you're able to play with your partner and focus on that sensation and don't even stress about what you look like. Because I can also tell you that you probably look pretty damn good. Anyways, click on the link below this description. You could also find other ways to get in touch with me by checking out the description below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If it resonated with you, click like, subscribe, whatever, and let me know in the comments below if negative body image thoughts ever pulled you out of the moment and what helps you stay connected to your body. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I will see you in the next video. Je vous aime. Bye.